In 2022, our office has returned nearly 300 antiquities valued at over $66 million to 12 different countries. Now, since its founding, the Antiquities Traffic Unit has returned more than 1,900 antiquities valued at over $135 million to over 22 different countries. And as the chief of the trial division here at the Manhattan DA's office, I know how important collaboration is between different law enforcement agencies, local, state, and federal, to ensure that these pieces are ultimately returned to their true owner, especially when it comes to such complicated investigations. You have pieces being passed through multiple people and through different continents. It takes trust and relationships to make these things happen. And I've seen over the years how the office's Antiquities Trafficking Unit has worked along with our partners at HSI to seamlessly work together to recover these antiquities and to return them. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is committed to holding accountable those who seek to exploit this city's status as a capital for arts and culture. And I know we will be having many more of these repatriation ceremonies in the months and years to come. So thank you, and I'd now like to introduce Mike Alfonso from HSI, who's going to say a few words.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Alfonso. I am a Deputy Special Agent in charge with Homeland Security Investigations in New York City. Unfortunately, the head of our office, our SAC, Rick Patel, was unable to attend today, so I'm here in his absence. I'm honored to be here today with Italian Consul General Dave Michele, Carabinieri General Riccardi. It's a pleasure to see you, sir, and my colleague from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, Lisa Del Pizzo. Today, we stand together to return 58 priceless antiquities to the country of their rightful home, Italy. The antiquities we return today were ripped from their country to be smuggled across borders by those seeking profit. Looters stole these treasures from Italy and imported them into the United States. Trafficking in antiquities is a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise, but we know the monetary value assigned in the marketplace can never match the true cultural and symbolic worth of these treasures. Despite international efforts to prevent the theft and looting of antiquities, the illicit movement of such gems across borders continues to challenge the best efforts of the world. To face this challenge, Homeland Security Investigations in New York has a specialized unit dedicated solely to conducting investigations related to cultural property, arts, and antiquities. I would like to recognize the investigative and prosecutorial team responsible for recovering and returning these treasures. These 58 pieces were a result of several investigations spanning multiple years. Homeland Security Investigations Cultural Property, Arts and Antiquities Group in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, Antiquities Trafficking Unit, please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. General Riccardi, the HSI and Danny team stands together to work on these cases with your team and with TPG. I wanted to tell a quick story about antiquities and why this is so important to everybody in this room. Last week, I was standing right at this dais at a Spain repatriation ceremony, and we were returning several books to Spain and our colleagues over in Europe. And my daughter that evening, who's 8 years old, was on social media. She was borrowing my phone, and there was a picture of me on Twitter standing in front of 2 books. And my daughter said to me, she said, Daddy, what's so important about these books? You know, why are you wearing a suit? Why are all these people there? And I was able to give her a history lesson and explain where those books came from and why we were returning those back to their rightful country. And she said, you know, Dad, am I going to ever get to see these things? And I said, really, I hope so. And that's why this is so important. We're returning them to the rightful places, and that future generations can learn and study from those artifacts and antiquities, which was special to me. Right after that, she said, Dad, after you spoke, did you do a TikTok dance? I said, no, I didn't do a TikTok dance. So she worked on one with me this weekend that I'm not going to do here today. But on behalf of Homeland Security Investigations New York, I'd like to thank you all for our continued support and partnership, especially the TPG and obviously the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. These artifacts belong to the people of Italy. We are proud to participate in their recovery and return home. Thank you, and everybody, please stay safe.
Thank you to Mike Alfonso and the single finest federal law enforcement agency in the country when it comes to antiquities trafficking, Homeland Security investigations. It is now my privilege to introduce a very good friend of mine, General Rojo Vivo from the Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. I thank all of you for coming. And of course, I'm very glad, and I must thank U.S. authorities for their strong commitment, for their outstanding collaboration in returning pieces, archaeological findings to Italy. Do you listen? Can you hear? Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Is it getting better? Speak up. So, I thank U.S. authorities for their outstanding collaboration, for their strong commitment in helping Carabinieri for the protection of cultural property in Italy to recover pieces of our identity, history, and culture. I thank the unit against illicit trafficking of antiquities run by Matthew Bogdanos, Colonel, prosecutor. I thank our friends of Homeland Security Investigations. I may say they are friends for me now. Today we have 58 pieces, and they are part of a treasure, because we recovered 201 in last December, and we recovered 142 last July, so it was just 2 weeks ago. And they are pieces which have a huge value. I'm talking about artistic and historic value, pieces which date back from the 8th to the 1st century before Christ. They belong to Roman, Etruscan, Magno-Greek, and Apulian civilizations, so part of our past, our ancestors. And they belong to the community. They will go back to the community to which they belong, and to the future generations, as my colleague and friend said before. Well, just one consideration, and you know very well, all people in this room know better than me, that in the U.S. Declaration of Independence, you have a special right, the pursuit of happiness. It was written in the Declaration by Benjamin Franklin, one of the fathers of this nation. It was inspired by an Italian philosopher from Naples, Gaetano Filigeri. He's part of the European Enlightenment. And I think it's time, a lot of time from then on, to launch here, today, a new right, the right to beauty. The right to beauty means, like for happiness, that the governments have the duty to provide the people with beauty. Their souls, their towns, their monuments, the works of art you are seeing now. So this is my wish for the future, that all people have the right to beauty, against war, against disasters, against all that makes us poor. Thank you very much.
Now I have the privilege of introducing Italy's Consul General in New York, Consul General Fiscalía, please.
Thank you, Colonel. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here for the second time in only 2 months, and being part for the third time in only 9 months of repatriation restitution ceremony. It's been already mentioned that in less than 1 year, the American authorities have allowed the repatriation of around 400 pieces, and beyond their illegal market value, what we acknowledge here is that the incredible cultural value of these pieces for Italy, but let me say, for all over the world. Now, I must once again stress that none of this would be possible without the incredible cooperation, which is consolidating throughout the years now, between Carabinieri, the Command of Protection of Cultural Heritage or Property, and the New York District Attorney's Office and Homeland Security Investigation Office. I've been witnessing personally the personal relations created among people here. That's what you see here, which is beautiful, but it's the result of years of work and cooperation, which have contributed to creating also personal bonds between the people working on both sides. And I think this is a kind of testimony to the depth and quality of this cooperation. And I understand that I might be so lucky that to be part of a further repatriation ceremony quite soon. After years of pause, I really believe I'm very lucky with the timing. Something I like to stress every time we do this kind of ceremonies is that in the past, when, thanks to the work of Carabinieri at the origin of most investigation, and then to the investigative activities here of the American counterparts, we've been retrieving artworks for many decades now, though the rhythm as the pace has accelerated in the recent past. But initially, most of these beautiful archaeological artifacts would end up in our museum storage, basically, because there was no space enough. You know, in Italy we have plenty of museums and plenty of stuff to show. But this has changed dramatically throughout the years. Indeed, to make accessible to people these antiquities, and not only through, of course, the involvement of different regional or local museums throughout Italy, but now through the launch, the inauguration of a new museum, which is based in Rome, and that the Ministry of Culture has created together with the Carabinieri, which is the Museum of the Saved Art. I'm translating in a literal way, Museo dell'arte salvata, where now people from all over the world can enjoy exhibitions of different artworks retrieved from many places, and notably the US, of course, is the main source of this. And I think this is very important because it demonstrates that all of the work which is behind ends up into something of concretely important for people, for their culture, for their happiness, and as I said before, let me say, for the bilateral relations between Italy and the United States. Thank you very much.
Now we will have the official signing ceremony with Lisa Del Piso representing the District Attorney's Office, and Mr. Consul General, if I can get you to go back up there.
And if I get each of you to sign both copies, please.
without signing, Mr. Consul General, these antiquities have always belonged to the people of Italy. They temporarily were away. They once again belong to you. Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Wait, please, a photo.
Thank you. General? Mike? Think of this as a wedding. First the four of you. First the four of you.
And we will finish on time because it's an Italian ceremony.
Exactly. He's never going to let me live that one down, is he? Oh, take the slide down. Thank you. And could I impose on the four of you for one more, but in front this time? Please? Thank you.
Oh, I thought it was 10. They said on top of the chair. I'm like, no, please don't.